All right, one of Grosvenor's well-known residents is the son of famed World War I flying ace, Wap May.
Denny May loves telling tales about his famous dad. Denny, along with his wife Margaret, spent hours volunteering in schools in this area, talking to students about aviation history in Alberta. I caught up with Denny at the Alberta Aviation Museum, which has a special tribute to his father.
It's something Denny May never gets tired of, showing off his dad's planes and telling the stories.
This was one of the first de Havilland Tiger Moths that the Edmonton Flying Club had. They started the Flying Club in 1927. My dad was the first president and first instructor. And this is what they taught people to fly on back in the 1920s.
Denny's dad, Wap May, a fighter pilot during World War I, became a household name after a spine-tingling incident in the air.
My dad took a shot at him, and they ended up in the middle of a dogfight. And then my dad's guns jammed, and he was in big trouble.
The German pilot who had Wap May in his gun sights was the notorious Red Baron.
And all of a sudden, bullets started hitting into his wings. He looked behind, there was an aircraft behind him. He said he didn't know who it was. If he had known it was the Red Baron, he probably would have died from fright.
The flight would be the Red Baron's last. He was killed in a dogfight. Wap went on to become a celebrated Canadian flying ace, shooting 13 enemy aircraft. After the war, back in Edmonton, he quickly made a name for himself as a highly skilled bush pilot. He made headlines around the world for such daring exploits as helping track down the mad trapper of Rat River, and for saving countless lives delivering diphtheria serum to residents in Canada's north. Eventually, the May family settled in Grosvenor. It
was comfortable. It's a very comfortable neighborhood, and the people are nice and the streets are quiet.
Denny speaks fondly about his years growing up in the neighborhood.
It was all dirt roads and board sidewalks and a forest across the street that was wonderful to play in, and it was just a great place to grow up.
And Denny still calls Grosvenor home. The 76-year-old spends much of his time volunteering at schools.
Just to keep history alive. So many kids don't know anything about history. They get very little of it in school.
And giving back to his community is something Denny feels very strongly about.
I've always been involved in a helping sort of role. I guess I've been a volunteer all my life, and Margaret's been a volunteer all her life, so we just do that. It's just the way we do things.
And we're very, very pleased. There he is right there to introduce Denny May is here in this Grosvenor School for us right now. Give him a hand, Denny.
Thank you so much for sharing your family history. It's just fascinating.
I could spend about a good 2 days with Denny just hearing the story. He's a great storyteller.
Thanks for coming. Yeah.